Okay, well, we've started now, so Logan's gonna have to go.
Okay, prismatic shirt.
Oh, I can't start the episode off that way.
Oh my
Go on, Logan.
god. All
Street
right.
cancelled. We're not playing anymore.
When last we left our party, they'd restored Erland to life and finished reconstruction of their keep. The party accepted the Heart and Hammer Mercenary Company and the Commission's 17th Hunting Barge as their subordinates, and temporarily placed Erland as the commander for the forces of High Kingdom. They sent the Heart and Hammer mercenaries on the 6-day journey to go and reinforce Far Ward and set out themselves to begin their own preparations. First of all, they teleported to Phalanx, where they planned to meet the Queen in order to coordinate with her. However, they were stopped at the doors, and when impatience won over cooler heads, the party broke in demanding an audience. This very nearly led to their arrest, but eventually the Queen agreed to meet with them. After tense discussions with the Queen were made, the Queen became aware of the party's plan to sow confusion by appearing to... fuck me. I'm so thrown off by us joking around before this.
Appearing to what?
Appearing
Yeah, can you
to be
repeat that?
both at Far Ward and at Dragon's Rest, as she reluctantly agreed with this plan and agreed to coordinate with the Matchsellers Guild to root out spies. Speaking of spies, it was time for Ott to do some behind-the-scenes work of his own. He met with Jedry Zigzag and arranged for all of the information given to...
Sorry,
That's the name of
You were
the leader
present
of
for
the
that,
match.
Matt.
I'm glad
Yeah.
Matt watched the
That
last
is the
episode.
name. That is the name of the Matchsellers Guild head. Is
Yeah, Jedry Zigzag,
yeah.
and arranged for
Okay.
all of the information given to the forces defending Far Ward should also be given to him at High Kingdom. The party then stopped in at Gareth's in order to pick up the sonic oscillator, and after some deliberation, Ott ended up holding on to it until someone stepped forward willing to wield it. The party had a much smoother meeting with the King of Bulwark, who had already been informed of their impending arrival, and finally they stopped in to check with Virtue in the Citadel of the Moon, where he told them that while he hadn't finished his investigation yet, he had discovered that most likely the information stolen from him was a list of places in Nexus that he'd hoped to visit. Unfortunately, he hadn't had time to gather any details on why these places might be important yet. Now the party still needs to strategize and prepare for their upcoming assault on Ildrugfil. With that, I will start some background music for us.
Starts battle
And-
music immediately straight into
Battle music, roll initiative.
That's if you can get it to work. Apparently, YouTube are cease and desisting every single music bot going.
Whoa.
Yes.
Even the ones that don't use YouTube.
Really?
Oh,
Mm.
Yep.
haven't
Bardbot
got
is
this one.
trying.
Bye-bye.
There we go. We're okay.
Yes, you're in.
It's lucky that I'm one of their 2 users. Anyway, so I did speak with Matt before the session. Matt, you said that you are on board with being the general of High Kingdom.
Yeah, you'll need to teach me the mechanics a bit more again, but
Yes.
yeah.
So I will just give you a quick thing. There's not really a lot you can do right this session, but it's if you guys spend 2 weeks at High Kingdom, you can then do stuff with your strongholds. I will pull up the advanced stronghold rules and just pop them up for everyone. It is a bit of a wall of text. I don't expect you to read it all now, but this is in your journal. Basically, the top bit is over a 2-week period, Matt. You can choose to train your new soldiers and yourself in a variety of different things. You can have one of these active at any given time.
Mhm.
So, for example, you might benefit from medium armor training. You might benefit from finesse training. You might benefit from piercing training.
But I can't use my stabby stab.
Not if you are using the sonic oscillator, which is the other thing, obviously. No one wanted to make a decision last session on who would carry the sonic oscillator, given the whole party wasn't present. But if I pull up
I'm not interested in that because it directly affects me in combat. I will be honest.
the sonic cannon. So the reason why Erland would be okay for it is because you have Jack of all trades, which means you have a better chance to hit with it than anyone else does.
Yep.
And because it benefits from extra attack, which out of the spellcasters, you're actually the only person who has that, I believe.
Okay. Is that only while equipped?
Yes, you don't need to attune to it.
Okay. I guess
So
it
basically,
makes sense.
it's a weapon that deals 2d damage. It only has a 30-foot range, but it does deal 2d12 thunder damage to the target. And then if the target is a dragon, they have to make a Constitution throw, or they lose the ability to fly and suffer the poison condition for 1 minute, or until they succeed on the saving throw at the end of their turn. And as a free action, you can charge the Sonic Cannon to raise the spell DC by sacrificing a spell slot. So, for example, if you sacrifice a 3rd level spell slot, you raise the DC by 3.
Okay.
So, the point is, obviously anyone can wield it. Yolia is probably the worst person to wield it because she's the only person who doesn't have any spell slots. People with the highest level spells are Erlan and Hyarkin. And if you have extra attack, you can obviously attack twice, which gives 2 chances.
Okay.
To proc the failure. But like, it does mean that while you're wielding it, obviously you can't dual wield your swords.
Yeah. That's fine.
So it's up to you guys who actually wants to wield the Sonic Cannon. Right now, Ott has it in his inventory, I believe.
Is anyone in particular like, I want this? Because I'm not particularly fussed.
In terms of like pure ability, I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It would make like, yeah, because it's ranged. It would use Dex, so I would benefit from having a +6 with the attack. I think, wouldn't I, Logan? Or
Yes,
is not?
you would.
Yeah. I would have I'd have one of the higher like chances to hit, but then it's
there's
only
no,
ever DC. It's only ever a DC 15 and a 2d12 thunder damage, which is okay. Well, it's always that, but it's
there's
it's
no
about the DC.
plus Dex to the damage either. It's just
Yeah.
2d12.
And
The point of this isn't that it's a tremendously damaging weapon. The point of this is that it's like A, stops dragons from like flying and being annoying and escaping, and B, gives them disadvantage on literally everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poisoned condition is kind of messed up.
And again, so because I wouldn't be able to raise that DC against dragons because it's a con save, guess what? They have really good good thing from con.
So that is at least a bit you can raise the DC by. Alternatively, obviously Hyarkin has decent magic.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't have very good dex.
Exactly. Whereas when it comes to it realistically, jack of all trades plus the fact you are you can raise it to like whatever level. Sure, you don't have as many spell slots, so you're using more spell slots, but like you also have a better dex as well because you are a dex-based bard.
Yeah.
So it would just seem the most reasonable to hand to you to use as a ranged weapon. Just means you got to roll well for once.
Yeah, which doesn't happen very often.
I believe in you.
It's not just the fact that you're dex based as well. You have jack of all trades, which lets you add half your
proficiency.
Half your proficiency bonus. So I think you'd actually have a higher chance to hit than Yolia.
Okay. I'll take it. You'll need to tell me when to use it, but I'll take it.
You can, of course, drop it. I will say, for the sake of it still like being a thing, having to actually switch weapons, we'll let you, as a bonus action, switch to swords instead of sonic cannon.
Cool. Yeah,
I don't want to
I'll do that then.
penalize you.
Yeah, let's go for it then. I'll take it.
Alrighty. Here you go. One sonic cannon.
Thank you very much.
And I've put that in the description of it.
Special Gareth Dragon killing machine.
So, just as the DM giving some guidance, obviously you have spoken to the Queen and the Queen of Banks and the King of Bulwark in order to get them on board with assisting with this. You've set up things behind the scenes in order to try and get your like decoys set up in Far Ward. One of the things that I think, because we had to gloss over the like meeting with the king and meeting with Virtue because my voice was absolutely dying last session. I will say that one of the things that potentially the king will have said was it may be a good idea to have your decoys arrive along with your forces that you've sent.
Mhm.
Yes,
So-
that makes sense.
I think it makes sense for him to have sent message to Dragon's Rest, Duskwatch, where your forces are likely to be stopping before they continue on their journey,
Yeah.
in order to get things sorted with them. Also, last time you spoke to the Queen of Dragon's Rest was when Erlan was being brought back to life. She agreed to have some spying done in order to determine what the Fang of Immolation's most likely reaction or response would be to you guys either appearing in Dragon's Rest or appearing in Far Ward.
Mhm.
Whether, he would stay at Ildragfil and wait for the battle to be finished so that he could just swoop in victorious, or whether he would take to the front line himself. So
Okay.
That's
So we-
one of the things to catch up on. The other thing it's worth mentioning that I forgot to write down in the recap is I don't believe you told either the Queen of Phalanx or the King of Bulwark that you had an agreement with the dragons that if you helped them, they would help retake Far Ward if it falls.
Oh,
I believe
yes.
the reasoning for that was you didn't want to set up stuff under the assumption that the battle there was going to be lost because that would affect morale.
Yeah,
Good idea.
that was it. It was sort of more like if we tell them this, like, oh, we think you're actually going to fail, so we're going to come and help after, and it's just like, yeah, that's like great vote, confidence vote, especially if we're trying to do something like cause a thing that will actually be a good strategic value to their side. So how long have we got now then between the people setting off to go to Farward and
Well, I would say you were on the evening of your first day of what is 6 days of travel time for them.
okay, so
Tomorrow morning, they will arrive in Duskwatch, and they will likely spend a little bit of time in Duskwatch, like getting supplies and getting ready before they set off for the remaining 5 days of the journey.
okay, so probably about a week at this point still.
It's 5 days after this next long rest that you guys are going to have.
Right, okay. Well, I meant like because obviously they said they're going to spend what at least a day resupplying.
More likely, because they'll be doing this hastily because they know that like time's of the essence. They'll spend a few hours if you wanted to catch up with them or anything, or get a message to them that you know where they're likely to be in the morning tomorrow before they like hit open skies and are hard to contact again.
I see. Okay.
Obviously, you still have sending. You can still speak to them, but like.
So it's just now down. We've got realistically about 5 days before they arrive, and essentially because of the whole idea of what we're doing in terms of the seeming spells, also be arriving at Farward, which would probably kick off events. So we have 5 days. Essentially, is what you're saying to make
Yeah,
sure
that's fair.
we're prepared ourselves.
Not including today, you have 5 days, and it's
Yeah.
currently like late day, evening sort of time.
Yeah, that's why. So and that's why I'm saying it's like 5
Yes.
days because it may as well be classed as 5 days at this point. So, we don't have a lot of time ourselves, but so it's more down to, I think, maybe coordinating with the Queen of Dragons Rest at this point to begin that side of it. Because we've done what we can. There's, we've already got things in place. Does everyone agree with that? Does that make sense to people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you okay. What about anyone else? Hyakin, Risu, what's your thoughts? And Art? Anyone?
Sounds fine, I think.
Right, so
So we have
Right,
5 days
Go
from
over
now.
it again. I was
Okay,
only half paying attention.
Oh, terrible.
Right.
At least the admits it.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Sorry.
So we
Okay,
have,
I'm focusing
as
now.
of, we technically have 6 days until our forces arrive at Farward.
Okay.
It's actually 5 because we're already we've already used up basically a day. So we've got 5 days between then and essentially the defense of Farward. We have to be ready at Dragon's Rest or Ildregville or wherever in 5 days to kickstart our thing. Because if they're already there, that's instantly going to cause the harder fight. Because they'll obviously have that. So we've got 5 days to make sure we are prepared for our fight.
Where
so
are we going? Farward or Dragon?
We're going to Dragon's Rest and Ildregville, depending on what we find out about how.
I can put you on the world map if that make it easier.
Yeah, just so people can see. So we've got 5 days to essentially either go to Dragon's Rest or Ildregville, depending on how the I can't remember his name now. It's completely gone from my mind.
Fang of Immolation.
Fang of Immolation, thank you. The Fang of Immolation, because we don't know if he's going to stay at Ildregville or if he's going to assist in the attack on Dragon's Rest when it begins. So we need to sort that out with the Queen of Dragons, find out if she has discovered what his plan is, and use that to then base our next moves to make sure that as soon as our troops arrive in 5 days' time at Farward, that we're at Ildregville or Dragon's Rest.
Okay. And they're pretty close to each other, so as soon as we find out, we can.
I
just
think
go to them all over.
Ildregville is 2 days travel from Dragon's Rest.
Depends on if you're being carried by a dragon or not.
Yeah, I mean,
If
it
you
could
were
be down.
going on foot, or by conventional travel, it'd be 2 days. Well, a day and a half, we'll say.
Day and a half, okay. But obviously, what we might decide to do is to take the fight to Ildregville. It all depends on what the whole premise is. If the Fang of Immolation doesn't move, then yeah, we should realistically take the fight to them. Which I'm guessing is a few hours, right?
Yeah, it'd be a matter of hours if you were traveling by dragon.
So basically, as soon as we can start the day when Farward arrives, that's when we set off to Ildregville and begin our assault on that alongside the other dragons and begin the assault on them while the defense of Farward occurs, and then find out what happens afterwards once we hopefully succeed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what happens in Dragon's Rest if we go to Ildregville instead?
Well,
do we send people from Dragon's Rest to come and help us?
The thing
Or
is,
are they staying there?
what I mean is we know that Ildregville is the current base of where the Fang of Immolation is. We know that what they're probably going to do is once we appear in Farward, they're going to attack Dragon's Rest, right? With another force.
Yes.
Our plan is obviously to cause confusion to stop an extra force from being deployed at either Dragon's Rest or Farward by showing ourselves at both places at once.
Yeah.
And they'd have to work out which is the real one, because obviously that's before they can attack, before they deport their forces. Or what they might do is just split their forces in a sense, and then essentially it's harder but still manageable. It depends. Don't know what they're going to do. We're hoping that it works and that things. There's a lot of just putting something in place and hoping that it does actually affect the battle what we're expecting to. This usually is a pretty sound strategy in most battles and warfare, in terms of like causing confusion amongst the enemy ranks, causing
the death
morale
as
drop.
much as you can, but
Yeah,
like
exactly.
how your opponent still moves is going to be up to them.
Exactly, but you can still, we can cause confusion, which can cause then communication issues and movement issues, and essentially just cause them a morale hit.
Yep.
Because they don't know, and so people start questioning what's going on, and that's how you can cause issues with in battles and stuff like that. And you can swing the tide in your favor against a larger force if you can cause the enemy force to rout themselves in confusion.
Do we have a backup plan in case they do see through the illusion straight away?
Our backup plan is we just hope we fucking win. Listen, there is no backup plan. We found out that thankfully, if we'd have just gone to Dragon's Rest, done the fight with Ildrugville, Forward falls. Had we not found out that they're going to attack Forward with an extra force. Because we found out that there's going to be an extra force, that's how we're able to try and use that knowledge against them by causing ourselves to appear twice. That's why we can get the communication issue rolling in. Like, oh, they're also here. Oh, which one's the real one? And, it causes confusion. It is really hoping that they haven't found out that that's what we're planning to do. Now, the question is, will they find out? Is why.
To also clear up some things, your objective here, your hope is that if they see you at both, yes, it will confuse them and slow them down a bit, but also it will make what's going on at Farward easier on your allies because they're likely to maybe split their forces and attack both fronts.
Yeah.
It's either
or it will slow down the reinforcements in Farward.
Exactly. We're hoping that it will either slow down reinforcements or they'll split their reinforcements. Either the slowdown is probably the better of the options. But splitting the forces is also a good alternative because then it's not the full, a full might hit, and it could be easier for them to defend. We know that they've got some decent soldiers going there. We've got, they've got some decent commanders and generals, in terms of like people there we know are going to be defending it, but they're not, they're not at the same kind of level as us in terms of like proficiency at fighting world-ending events.
They can hold, but for how long? I think that's the point.
Yeah, we want to try and finish off what we're doing with Ildrugville, and essentially with the dragons, as they have already agreed to help, move to Farward to then do the knockout blow if possible. And then essentially Farward doesn't fall, Dragon's Rest is reached, and then obviously the enemy takes such a massive hit that it completely knocks them off for ages, and we can then push forward and into the other half of the dragons of the continent, knowing we've got the advantage essentially, and push to help try and work out what's going on that side.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it sounds like you definitely know much more than the rest of us on how to sort this. It's a good plan, though. It's a good plan.
I mean,
makes a lot of sense with what we've got.
Yeah.
This is just, I don't know.
Yeah, I know we spent a long time trying to decide the best way last session, so yeah, we're going for it.
So we should probably try and make our way to Dragon's Rest without like it getting alerted that we're there, I think, at this point, because that might kickstart the battle before we even begun.
When you left, you were given or I believe Risu is currently holding on to it, an enormous gem from the Queen's Hoard, which you can then use as part of your teleportation spell in order to make sure you're able to teleport successfully to Dragon's Rest.
Yes. Would that teleport us directly to a Hoard, being where it's from?
I'd say you have to be somewhere near to the center of Dragon's Rest. I don't think you need to appear directly in the Hoard.
Okay.
You'd need to appear, sort of somewhere that you are aware of near to the center of Dragon's Rest.
Okay, so that's fine. If we do teleport to Dragon's Rest, we will have to tell them we're on the way. This isn't the same as not telling the guards at whatever teleportation circle.
This
Yeah,
isn't
okay, if you wanna
crossbows
get-
pointed at you by level 2 guards. This
Yeah.
is ancient dragons with fire breath.
Yeah. Let's not deal with that.
It's not.
Can I quickly do a not an intelligence check? What would it be? I want to check how effective my fireball would be against these guys.
Give
So I
me
don't want
an
to bother
Arcana
using
check.
it. Arcana. Oh,
You know,
lucky!
that's true. You have Rocky-chan. Rocky-chan goes, I know, ask me, and he will let you re-roll. 16. There we go.
Much better roll.
Okay. Erlan is, a traveler and a storyteller, and obviously one of the main focuses of big heroic tales is often dragons, and especially like red dragons are like often spoken of in like epic tales of heroes beating monsters. You would know that a dragon's ability to resist elements is dependent on the color of their scales.
Okay.
I don't think for metallic dragons you would really know. You think like gold dragons you think are fire type, but you don't know about the others. And obviously red dragons are fire type. Those guys are going to be completely immune to fire.
Okay.
But you don't know of like any specific weaknesses that dragons have based on their color, and you think if they're not specifically resistant to fire, it will affect them normally.
Okay. Cheers for that.
And Rocky-chan goes, I hope that helped!
I stuff
After
it
just,
back in the
like,
bag. I start punching
expositing
it back into the fucking
All of
bag.
that information. There's like guards who are like, you're stood outside the University of the Prismatic Shard who are like quietly watching you, like, oh, what's going on over there? While you're talking to a rock.
Just kicking the bag all over the place.
I literally tell it's like I feel bad for that rock if it wasn't for the fact that it has such an annoying voice.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. Fuck it.
He starts like happily humming to himself. He doesn't have like pain receptors, and he's not smart enough to understand that he's not wanted. He's just like, his whole personality is just like happy to be here, man.
Oh, that voice though.
Just like a celestial being of positivity.
Stop trying to make me feel bad for it, Logan.
I then at this point turn to oh God, where is it? To Seraphine and say, "Wow, thank God you don't have an annoying voice."
I mean, what? Which god?
Seraphine.
I'm not a god. You mean Melora?
No. I said
You
said
said,
I'd turn
thank
to.
God.
Ah!
Oh, he starts counting down from 10.
Listen here. I'm going to shove you so far up Melora's ass if you say that again.
That was a funny joke and you know it.
It really wasn't. Anyway,
What do we need to do next then?
I think our next plan is to try and sort with the Queen of Dragons about what the fuck is going on and what best should we advance on Ildragfil? Is that the plan? Do we move to attack them or do we wait on defense?
I know we joked, but it's actually worth us doing a bit of shopping quickly.
Do we have money?
Yeah, I'm sure we could, like, especially seeming as the dragons have shit tons of money. We can just like invoice it to them.
Yeah. Good luck with getting them to agree to that.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Charisma over here.
Good luck with that DC 700.
This is hell.
Do we have any money? Do we? You're the bank. You're the Bank of England over here. You can fucking find some money.
Excuse
We
me.
spent all the money on that
Have we
sonic
not-
cannon.
You guys
Yes, we
are in
did.
so much
And-
debt right now.
And my
We
island,
have
right?
so much. We have no money.
Yeah. I
We-
think
we have-
owe it all to High Kingdom.
We have
What?
free-
Just
have
raise
free
1,000
kids in-
gold to
We have free
the
kids and no
Match
money.
Guild.
Yeah, we have free kids and no money
Yeah.
instead of free money and no kids.
Okay.
So no shopping episode.
Unfortunately, not. We
And
don't
obviously,
have.
yeah, you guys all need to pay for High Our Kingdom, to which you owe 5,000 gold to the King of Bulwark. Which now that like construction is finished, he's gonna start asking about that money.
He's not charging interest, is he? We can wait as long as we need.
That depends how long you're gonna wait. Smiley face.
We'll just pull the old.
Listen,
We
listen,
won't come
listen,
save
listen.
you next time.
We're going to fight. We're going to fight dragons. I'm guaranteed that the Flame of Innovation's already started a horde. We just take his horde. I'm sure there's enough money.
Good point.
Jeez, that's Mind Flayer money you're stealing. What about those innocent dead Mind Flayers?
Shut up, you! Stop trying to pull on my moral heartstrings again.
With Mind Flayers.
With mind flayers for some fucking reason.
Dude, two of us have literally had our heads ripped off by mind flayers.
Exactly. So none of us care anymore.
I have no sympathy for them.
Whoa, okay, I don't need
And
to.
no ability
I'm
to feel
gonna-
fear.
Me and the homies are racist against mind
You
flayers.
know what we could do? We could set up a flesh factory and sell the flesh.
Oh, for God's
No.
sake!
A
No.
flesh factory? Are
Don't
you
you
Dennis
remember-
Reynolds?
don't you
What the
remember the
fuck?
flesh factory?
You were.
Maybe,
you were not
maybe,
there
maybe
for
Matt
that.
wasn't here for that one.
He wasn't there for that session. Oh,
Oh, Matt,
God.
be glad you weren't there. It went on for like 2
It
hours.
was, we were. It
Pros
was,
and cons of making a flesh factory.
it was fucked up, man. It was so wrong.
Isn't that what, just like
for
human
context,
flesh?
They were debating teaming up with the Mind Flayers in order to fight the Thing of Immolation.
We were going to give them
And
these flesh
they were going
golems
to
as-
basically give them vegan brains to eat by making flesh golems
Not an awful idea.
with
It
an
was.
underground flesh golem factory on High Our Kingdom that they were going to make.
Are these things sentient?
No,
No,
that was my
Surely
argument.
there's no
Yeah,
moral
Matt's.
concern.
I mean, Erland's on my side here.
If it cannot, yeah, I was gonna say
Tell
set up a flesh.
Risu, she was the one getting so upset over it.
We
Yeah,
need
I
we,
think
we
you're
need
free.
money, and unfortunately, when it comes to it, I'm a capitalist. I'm a big money spender, and unfortunately, if I have to kill
I
some
really
non-sentient
like that
beings,
This is
I'll
in
do it.
character
This
and
is-
like in the middle of the street.
I'm just gonna. I literally go up to and put my hand over his mouth and say, "Shut up, you absolute drunkard."
God damn it!
By the way, any exposition that I, as the DM, give now comes in character from Rocky Chan.
Oh.
See, that's
It's
not.
going to be like Map from Dora the Explorer, like, hey, let me out! And
Oh
like,
my God.
you have to let it out, otherwise it won't shut up.
Oh. Right. Anyway, shall we begin attempting to travel to Dragon's Rest to begin the next part of our journey?
How are you gonna get there?
So,
Dragon.
do we have a teleportation spell available? Do you have the level for it to do?
Nicholas,
Have we had a long rest? Because I did use my.
Uh,
level.
then-
I haven't had a long
no.
rest yet.
So we'll have a
No,
long.
so I haven't got it.
So we'll have a long rest.
Do you have a higher level spell slot?
I do. I could cast it at level 8, but we'll have to take a rest anyway, right?
Yeah. So
Whether we
but
do it
may-
now or after, I don't know.
So I think it'd be better to do it later then. So then you have all your spell slots again.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if we travel down,
Oh yeah, sure.
do our thing, then have our long rest
I'll
at
use it at
Dragon's
level
Rest.
8 then, yeah, and then I can get both of them back.
Before you use it, though, someone tell the dragons we're coming.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Don't you like the element of surprise?
might say hi.
I thought that was part of our signature. The element of surprise. Seems to have gone
And
well
there's
so
the TPK. I'm finally free.
That's
They teleport into the Queen's Horde and she instantly evaporates all of them.
So we haven't slept, have we? So
Game over.
we're still on.
You haven't, no.
Okay.
No.
That's both my level 3 spells.
Do you have a third level spell slot?
Oh yeah, that's at both of them used now.
Okay. What would you like to say? 25 words.
Wow. I wish I gave myself a chance with this. Hey, it's the Virtuosos. We're coming.
Is that the name we seriously went with? Okay.
Yeah. We're coming.
We like to change
You
it now,
weren't
everyone
here.
knows it.
yeah,
Yeah, even the dragons.
should have been here.
Sorry, guys, just too focused on the grind.
We're coming to hang out. See you
What a
soon.
Sigma.
XOXO.
Okay.
What? Right.
You get a response from the Queen after like a minute or two, and it starts with, first of all, never say XOXO to me again. She used 13 words on that. And then she says,
It's got 7 words.
teleport in 5 minutes. I'll make sure you aren't killed. 25 words exactly.
Okay,
we
we
have
better wait.
Wait 5 minutes to then teleport. Make sure you take that gem so you can teleport directly to there.
Yep.
Risu
got that,
holding
right?
the ruby that's like the size of her head.
Woohoo.
We could sell this guy. No!
Yeah. What do you mean? Don't you trust my teleporting abilities? I'll get us there in one piece.
I think it gets bigger every time I say it.
It's worth about 10,000 GP, yeah, and also our lives if we sell it.
Probably more than that.
We could pay our debts off with this gem.
Wait, what is
Can
the
we
gem?
take it to Gareth and ask him to clone it? We've done it before. And then just trust that it'll wipe his memory again.
But you can't
I
now,
don't
can you?
remember
Which he-
you ever
which he
getting
didn't.
gems cloned.
Well, we didn't get a gem clone, but we've asked him to clone something before.
Have you?
Yeah, that's where we got the oscillator from, right?
No, you gave him like a bunch of scrap parts of the oscillator that you disassembled,
Yeah.
and he
And he just
constructed
knew
it
how
from.
to build it back up.
Well, he made a new thing out of it.
And then wiped his memory, right?
Yeah.
Or partially wiped his memory. Or
Yeah,
something.
he had to drink a potion that like made the last 2 weeks a blur.
Yeah.
But he still remembers, like, before then. Wait, how long did
Yeah,
it
he
take him
still
to-
has like detailed notes and diagrams. No, that would super violate the Gias he put himself under.
Yeah. I hope they were put in a shredder.
He ate them all.
The oldie shredder.
So he can't knowingly go against the thing.
No, he can't.
But what if he drew the diagrams, he was robbed, and you know, like he couldn't find.
Well, he
people
would have
who-
probably told you about it, but
What about if we rob the diagrams and then we
well,
sell
that
them?
wouldn't
Well, no.
violate the Gias.
Then we
Yeah.
can sell them back to him and get rich.
but he wouldn't remember because he's under a gas.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
but he'd know it
completed.
was
He's
something-
completed the Gias now. He's free to do whatever.
He'd know it was something worth something. No. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah,
Let's do this teleport.
I was just about to say, it's like, this is like the 4th derailment.
Yeah,
These are very, very small derailments. We've had a lot worse.
they add up.
We have 2 hours of flesh golems.
Oh no! I bet Matt's glad he missed that one.
No, you gotta watch it. It's like my
I'm
favourite
kind of
episode.
not
It was-
now. I
it
kind of
was-
wish I was there
It's
for
the
that.
session
Oh,
where
I
you
wish
died.
I missed it.
It's the
You,
session.
you mean you didn't watch the 2-hour live stream?
I didn't know
God.
where to find it, to be honest.
Oh
I
man,
think it was
I'm not
session
sure.
60.
Sorry, I'm too loyal to the retro break. www.youtube.com.
Should I upload it then
retrobreak.com.
to my channel?
Yeah, please. Please.
Sure.
all of your
I'll do that
subscribers
this
were
Friday.
all so confused. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Hey guys, episode 60.
Of my D&D
Just that one.
campaign I'm playing in.
Yep. Enjoy.
Anyway,
are we
another
teleporting?
derailment. Let's go.
Are we teleporting or
These
not?
derailments
While
go-
you guys are like joking, Hyarkin is like quietly muttering the incantation to teleport you all to Dragon's Rest. And like mid-word from Erlan, you are all dropped into Dragon's Rest. Whereabouts do you put them, Nick?
Erlang casted 30 teleport
I was
spells, so
just
where-
about to say,
where are
what
we going,
the... Everywhere, apparently.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah. I'm
it's
getting so
light speed
frustrated. we
skipping
just
from
pop
Star
off at,
Wars.
like-
You like flash into different locations for a second.
Yeah, I'm getting so frustrated. We just pop up in every single bit of the grid. I don't know. Put us. Yeah, where Taito is.
Right outside her abode.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, literally right outside the front door, you appear, and you are not immediately incinerated.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
thank God.
You do, however, see one of the large black dragons that normally guards the treasure chamber looking down at you, acidic drool dripping from his mouth. He just sort of like growls you a welcome morsels.
Try not to eat us.
He snarls at you. And,
Who do you reckon is the most tasty looking?
You.
Ask him.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
he looks like appraisingly at each of you, and then looks at Hyarkin and goes, "Is that one blueberry flavor?" I hate blueberries.
Extra blueberry because I'm actually cursed. Did you know?
Oh,
He
God,
uses
yeah,
True
you-
Slate on you.
Maybe that's my curse. It tastes like blueberry now.
This entire conversation is cursed. Thank you very much.
Lick 'em
Let's
and
carry
find
on
out.
to the Queen.
The dragon looks down at the door beneath him and says, "The queen awaits you with it."
Well, it's so much easier to see the Queen of Dragons rest. Yeah, we went to see a queen in like one of these other cities, and they refused.
He sounds like a bitch. I hate her. Shall I eat her?
No, please don't. She's also an ally.
Not yet.
Dude, stop bogarting the dwarves. Okay, this dragon's personality is transformed a little bit in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, just a bit. It's our innate effect on them. Anyway, let's go see the Queen.
Okay,
Queen.
you are allowed in. You walk down the long dark corridor towards the treasure chamber. And within, you see the Queen of Dragons Rest, as well as the copper dragon Everan that you've spoken to previously, and the gold dragon Salafar that you, I believe he actually teleported you away last time you were here.
I think so, yeah.
You, they all look over to you, and Everan, in fact, I think, yeah, Francisco would likely be there as well. So, I think Francisco would be like, "Oh, you've arrived. Good. We were just discussing plans. Feel free to come and join us."
Oh, okay,
then-
yeah. Let's move in.
And
Are they in their dragon forms or the?
they will all be dragons right now, yeah.
So do we go into giant chairs?
They're all stood around. They're between the entrance and the enormous pile of gold.
Okay.
Have they got like human-sized chairs? In
There will be many thrones within the horde that they could fish out if they wanted.
I take it they don't want to.
They have opted to stay as dragons.
Okay.
I wonder why a dragon would want to stay as a dragon.
what sort of
It's
chairs
almost
do
as though
dragons
it's a
sit on?
natural form.
They don't need chairs normally, Rob.
What's a dragon throne look like? Come on, Logan.
An enormous pile of gold that they sleep on.
I
I just don't want to crane my neck looking at them.
You crane your neck to look at everyone. You're that short.
Yeah, but this much bigger.
My cranium.
Risu just lies on her back.
This is all I can do.
Unfolds a mat.
So Francisca will say, "Okay, to get you guys up to date on what's happened while you've been away, we, and by we I mean the Queen, has gotten information from some defectors within the Fang of Immolation's hideout. Apparently, he has actually kept some of the mind flayers alive, as well as taken in slaves from some of the surrounding villages of monsters. There's some orcs there, there's some kobolds there who have willingly started worshipping, which is honestly pretty in character for kobolds. I don't particularly expect any of the small fry to be problems for you, except for maybe the mind flayers, of who I don't believe there are very many. They have been actively stripping Ildrugville of all of the wealth that was there and bringing it as tribute to the Fang of Immolation, which, again, is not a particularly surprising turn of events. The more important information is that the Fang of Immolation has been discussing some elements of his strategy. One thing worth mentioning is he is very arrogant. There is no part of him that considers anything other than a dragon to be a threat to him. And of dragons, the only one that he actually seems to be particularly worried about would be my mother, the Queen. And she looks over at the Queen, who doesn't really seem to respond to it at all. And, like, Francisca, like, takes a second as though she was expecting a response there and goes, okay, moving on. Right now, we believe his strategy is that, or at least what he's discussed with lower level dragons that we've heard reports from, is that the expectation is he won't be taken to the field until my mother makes an appearance. He is going to hang back and let them fight all of the small fry, in his words, until she takes to the field, and then he will leave Ildrugville and come onto the battlefield himself.
Who's that? The Fang of Immolation?
The Fang,
the Fang of Immolation
Yeah,
himself.
the big Fang himself. The big F.
That means that if the battle was to take place here, as long as my mother wasn't actively participating in the battle, you could keep the Fang of Immolation at Ildrugville, where you could potentially face him. I wouldn't expect him to be completely alone, but the bulk of his forces would be here fighting us.
Would you be able to defend just against his forces?
The Queen will look down and say, "We don't particularly wish to fight our own kind. This is something which is being forced upon us. It is my opinion that if I'm not to take the field here in Dragon's Rest, I should wait and lay siege to Ildrugville alongside all of you.
That's what.
Casualties here will be unavoidable, and I am not sure which side will be victorious without my presence. My hope is that we can settle things over there before the battle is concluded here." And Everon and Salafar will both speak up, and essentially their stance is that it's too big of a risk to send the Queen away to go and fight in Ildrugville against the Fang of Immolation, when, like, if she loses, basically there'll be an immediate morale break and the battle will be lost.
Well, there's kind of no point to carry on after that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought so. They're not interested in being the aggressors and laying siege to Ildrugville themselves. They would rather be defensive.
I think Everan and Salafar's stance can probably best be summed up as we're best off fighting here on home turf where we have an advantage as defenders, rather than sneaking out to attack them. I think they do believe in the idea that you guys might be able to sneak into Ildrugville going there. They just don't want the risk of sending the Queen of Dragon's Rest there. And the Queen is very enthusiastic about going out and fighting.
Oh, I see. So the Queen wants to, but everyone else is like, no, please don't.
Is
Yes.
that why she's puttying?
Buddying?
No one knows what that means, Sarah.
Sulking.
Okay, yes.
It's Welsh.
Welsh words.
I was just about to say, do you want to explain what this means?
Yeah.
Sulking.
Please.
She's essentially just been told, no, we can't risk you. Go and hide underground.
Well,
By the very people that she wants to be protecting.
And she's been sharpening her knives.
in terms of what we wish, we have got a plan in motion to essentially try and cause confusion amongst the enemy ranks. I'm not sure how much you're aware, but essentially...
The Queen will speak up and sort of refresh your memory and says, you were still in the early stages of planning this. My understanding when you left was that you hadn't actually decided what you planned to do, whether you planned to appear in Farward yourselves and then teleport here, or whether you planned to just attack Ildrigville. You were still deliberating on whether it would even be best to go forwards with this plan when you left here, because you weren't sure whether or not appearing in Ildrigville would just cause the Fang of Immolation to come here, and then you'd have to fight him in the middle of a crowded battlefield.
Yeah, so we've come up with a way, because we've discovered that they are going to send extra troops to wherever we are not. So...
Queen goes, yeah, I know, I told you.
Yes, oh yeah, of course, it came from you.
She wouldn't say it like that.
No, but it's just like,
I
it's
wish
like,
she did.
yeah, it's like, of course, yes, that was you that informed us of that piece of knowledge. We have planned to appear at both places at once to cause confusion, to prevent either, to try and prevent the assault. So essentially, we need to be present at wherever they are going. We need to be present on both battlefronts. Essentially, that means then, if your decision is to sit and defend, we need to be in the defense.
Francisca, I think, would probably be like the one who takes the most active interest in this, given like her relationship with you guys. So she would probably say something along the lines of like, so when you say you're going to appear on both battlefields, how exactly are you planning on doing that?
The allies of the Dwarven Kingdoms have agreed to use decoys in the form of magical decoys to help make it look like we have arrived at Farward alongside some of our troops that we have sent.
Okay. Francisco will say, in that case, we would need to make sure that until your decoys are in place and prepared there, you aren't detected here.
Exactly.
And she like looks over at Salafar, who like just sort of like snorts and is like, defending against scrying is child's play.
Cool story, bro.
I should hope so, being that you all have the ability to have true sight.
And the Queen says, this chamber is already protected from most forms of divination magic. They won't be able to spy on us here. That's why we're having this meeting here.
Yes.
There are various spells which I will leave to Salafar in order to set up an area for you to stay safely without being detected.
Yes. So, in terms of timescales, we have about 5 days before our troops land at Farward.
And when they arrive, your decoys, your doppelgangers will be amongst them.
Yes.
was a close one.
Damn it! I was so glad I could have said it.
What were you going to say?
Among Us.
Mogus.
I like how Matt was ready to catch you out.
Yeah, just. Whew. You got to be on constant awareness.
Mogus.
Sorry,
Has to
anyway.
catch me.
Zoomer senses.
Oh God.
The Queen will say, in that case, we have several days to prepare and decide how best to expect and defend against this fight. Were we facing a more conventional fighting force, we could at least expect a direction for them to come from, given that crossing the absolutely all but impossible for most warriors. However, we're facing for whom the absent range is no obstacle, and who could come at us from any or all directions. And the Eberron and Salafar will speak up and say, Your Majesty, it's best if you reside in the chamber downstairs. We can hold up in a defensible location and post some of our older dragons at various vantage points in order to spot them coming in early.
Does she like that?
No, she doesn't like hiding it. She doesn't like the idea of hiding, full stop. She nods, but says nothing.
Realistically,
She understands that, like, she can't be seen in this fight.
What happened to the King of Dragons?
that was the fang.
Divorce.
Nope. The Queen says there never was a King of Dragon's Rest.
Oh shit, because they can just lay eggs.
I was gonna say, what about the dad?
You saw where she gets dragon's eggs from.
Oh, she just poofs them and then magics them.
It grew from a tree, the last one you saw.
Such a weird way of it.
We need to know the
The
ways
Queen
of the
says,
dragons.
do you want to get into how dragon babies are made? Because we can have this conversation.
Biology
This
lesson.
is
It's
not
a little
Biology session.
When,
Everything
I
I
have
know
answers
is a
to these
lie.
questions.
one second. When a daddy dragon and a mommy
There
dragon
is no daddy
love each
dragon.
other
That's the
very
thing.
much.
When a
So
mother
the
tree
is
dragon
a
loves
dad?
a plant very much.
All right, the Queen shoos the other dragons out of the chamber and
Oh,
says,
okay.
"Okay,
There
fine.
it is.
Look, transforms down to human size. Okay, we're gonna have this conversation. We're gonna have it really quickly, and then you're never gonna speak about this again.
Rolls
Okay?
like
Gets out my notebook.
Male and female dragons exist. They can have children the exact way that you would normally expect any other creatures to exist.
I
to have children.
instantly look at everyone and do this. If you look at cameras,
But it's
Yeah,
more
I
fun
knew
to
it.
go
I
to.
didn't even need to look.
Furious scribing is happening right now from Hierarchin.
Yep, and drawings from Rissi.
I was gonna say Hierarchin is drawing dragon bonus right now.
No, it's a poor
There's like a
guy.
picture of a dragon.
Hierarchin is like, can you describe it in extreme detail,
Extreme
please?
I
There's
can
like a
take some
picture of a
commissions
dragon
later.
penis,
The
and then
Queen
like,
like, gives you all a forlorn look.
Please,
just
please
like-
continue. Please
Are
continue.
the
Ignore these
dragons
guys.
from the tree the Queen's siblings?
They would be considered my children. So the tree is a special thing. It's why I came here to Dragon's Rest. It's worth mentioning that at the time I founded Dragon's Rest, after the Calamity, dragons were all but extinct. We'd been hunted by the Colossi for millennia. And when the Calamity came about, my dragon sight, which is the reason that I just told the others all to leave, directed me to come here and find the tree. I can breathe life into the eggs from the tree, and from them, a dragon is born.
the tree.
That dragon
Where do the eggs of the tree come
biologically
from? Are they
has
just
no
part of the tree?
relation to me. However, they are still my children.
At this point, I go, wait, hold up, and turn to Francesca. Does that mean you're a tree egg?
Tree baby.
Francisca's not in the room.
Okay.
The Queen says, all of my direct descendants were born from the eggs from that tree. Yes. There are many dragons here in Dragon's Rest who were born through more conventional means.
Your parents then, were they tree-born?
No.
How would they be tree-born if they
You were
they were-
tree-born.
Okay, fine.
There's something that I need to clear up for you all. The tree isn't a normal thing. To my knowledge, there are no others like it in the entire world. It's part of why Dragon's Rest is so important. Dragons were hunted almost to extinction, and it's worth saying that dragons have been in this world since before there are any records of anything happening in this world. We're an integral part to its existence. And when dragons almost cease to exist, it is my belief that the world found a way of making more dragons. If the tree was to be destroyed, maybe another tree would grow somewhere else, or maybe something else would happen entirely to make more dragons.
So,
But basically, if this guy takes over, he's got a tree of infinite dragons.
Yes.
Yeah.
so with you got the tree babies, and then you got the dragon babies.
There's
the tree
several
babies-
generations of dragons here in Dragon's Yes.
Are the tree dragons like royal? Are they?
They are the ancient dragons. They're the oldest and most powerful amongst the dragons, but all of the dragons here are considered to be of the same rank, which is to say there are two ranks. There's me and there's not me.
Oh, okay. That's
We
what
don't
that
really
is.
go in for hierarchical systems here. Dragons will defer to dragons that are older than them, but that sort of detailed cooperative systems tend to lend themselves more to people your size.
So everyone has sex with the same tree.
No,
They
No one
don't
has
have-
sex with any trees.
No sex.
no copulation.
Eggs just grow on it, like
These,
once every few hundred years.
these dragons are tree fuckers.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe she's admitting that part.
I was learning.
So when's the
The
art
queen
coming
looks
out?
extremely distressed right now.
Yeah. Well,
So it's Risser. She's asking like actual questions,
Mhm.
and then the
I-
older guys are like, "So tree
Worth
sex now?"
noting, I had answers to all these questions because I also am interested in this. The dungeon master has answers to these questions because he's
Oh,
thought of the
no.
exact same thing.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
What's
Search
wrong with you?
history.
Logan knew
Poor-
what questions were coming.
Logan.
No, I
we'll-
just
we'll
know
have a-
that like
we'll
it's
have a
the sort of
conversation
question that I would ask is like, wait, so are all dragons born from tree eggs?
Mhm.
The answer is no.
Logan. hmm We'll have a conversation after after session.
Right.
He's not into fairies. He's into
Uh,
trees.
I got two
I'm
questions.
into trees, yes.
I got
Uh-huh.
two questions.
I loved Lord of the Rings.
If there's gonna be anything, trees aren't that bad.
Okay.
I got,
Once
I,
again,
guys,
nonsense.
I'm going to call my children back into this room now, and this conversation is
I've
over.
got two reasonable questions. It's not quite so grotesque. Do dragon egg? Well, sorry,
I'm
dragon
waiting for it.
babies that come from dragons look the
Mhm.
same as dragons that come from the tree.
Yes.
Okay, and at birth, can you get dragon babies mixed up because of tree and like what happens in maternity ward? Someone like gets the cot switched around kind of thing.
The Queen goes, theoretically, yes, but dragons are born very rarely. We tend not to have more than one or two wormlings at a time.
They're called
So it could happen.
wormlings.
Well,
Yeah.
They're called wormlings.
I knew that, but Risser didn't.
They're called wormlings, Risu. The Queen looks actively distressed by that sound and leaves the room to go and bring back the others.
Well, this conversation was weird.
Derailment.
I knew that conversation was going to happen eventually. I didn't know it was specifically going to happen during the war meeting.
You
Come
should.
on, it's us. You should have
It
planned
was-
for that.
Like, specifically, what's the weirdest time you guys can be like, so how are dragon babies made?
licking lips.
Hierarchin doodling dragon cocks.
Oh, no.
And trees now as well.
A couple of
Okay.
minutes later, all of the dragons return. The queen has transformed back into her draconic form.
We have to
Ristu has a
recompose ourselves.
starstruck look.
Worth mentioning, all of the dragons in this room are first generation dragons who will have been born from the tree. They're all.
Do they know that they're born for the tree?
I was about to ask that.
Sorry, that's
Right
just
now.
yeah.
They would remember having grown up in the tree chamber.
First
Tree
generation
Tree
is
chamber
favourite
sounds
set of
fucking
dragon
metal.
Pokemons.
Tree babies.
So there's a war about to happen.
Do you have
Yeah.
baby pictures?
Stop.
Maybe.
Yes, and I still maintain that as the strongest dragon here, it would be a waste to have me hidden away. I can be of the most use at Ildragfil, where I'll be the only one who actually has a chance in a fight against the Fang of Immolation.
I kind of want to fight with the giant fucking dragon god.
We kind of also want to fight the dragon god, as it's kind of important we do.
Everyone is going to look both at you, look at all of you, and goes, "Yeah, that was the plan. You guys are going to go kill him for us."
Oh,
Yeah, but we need to also actively make sure that you don't get overwhelmed by other forces appearing.
by music.
Hang on, I got
Because-
my music on.
In the end, what's going to happen is our doppelgangers are going to appear at Farward, and extra troops are going to be sent here to aid aid in the assault on Dragon's Rest. So this is where the problem comes in. We need to have the Fang appear so we can fight him. Which means, but the only way he's going to appear is if the Queen is showing herself.
Yeah, we kind of need to bait him out realistically.
We can
Not
go and
straight away,
assault him.
though.
So it's either we assault
Yeah.
Ildragfil, or she is here for the defense.
The Francisca will speak up and say, "I don't know whether it's wise to have the Queen fight on the front lines or not. I understand her point, but I also think it would be a tremendous risk to expose her to any kind of danger. The my belief is that if your doppelgangers appear in Farward, according to our intelligence, that will trigger an attack here at Dragon's Rest. And so long as the Queen doesn't show her face, the Fang of Immolation will remain at Ildragfil, not quite entirely undefended, but under significantly less defense. That could give you all an opportunity to attack."
Where are they attacking from? Like when they go to see us, when we appear at say Farward, where they do we know where they're actually coming from? Or
They are
just
currently
flying
all
straight
at Ildragfil.
Ah, okay.
The exact nature of like which direction they're going to attack Dragon's Rest. I'll put you back on the map. You don't know exactly where they're going to attack Dragon's Rest from, because for them, like, flying across the Absent Range is a couple of hours of travel as opposed to several days of travel. So they could literally hear that you're at Farward, and then in 3 hours' time, they could be attacking from the west.
From the east. What, attacking Dragon's Rest from the east?
Yes.
Yeah, attacking because they could fly around the Absent Range and then attack from the west. So
Oh, okay.
there's no like, oh yeah, we just need to put all of our forces on the eastern border and we'll just like fight them there because they're dragons. They can just fly across the Absent Range. They could attack from any direction.
There's also the fact that the cult of Xernas is going to help with more forces, though.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the problem we've got, is the fact that you could get completely overwhelmed.
The
Battle.
Queen will speak up and say, it's our belief up until this point has been that the Cult of Xernas will be providing manpower and reinforcements. I'm not 100% sure that seems to be the case. From our understanding, the dragons don't really seem to be making considerations for non-dragons, or at least non-dragons that are not already a part of their force, to join the battle. It's more likely that there'll be some sort of indirect magical support from the cult, whatever that might mean.
Okay. So less likely actual
Soldiers on the
bodies.
ground, more
more.
Xernas will intercede in some way.
But we don't know how. We also need to point out that we have something that can be very, very beneficial against the fight of against the Fang. We have obviously already discussed intentions of creating a weapon from the thing, but we have now actually physically got it.
Yeah, at the mention of the sonic oscillator, like Francisca, like takes a slight step away from you guys, remembering
This is
how
this
badly
is
it messed
essentially
her
just
up.
saying like we've got the dragon nuke, right?
I mean, you've got one of the dragon nukes. The other one is in the Queen's treasure hoard that you also secured in the exact same mission.
Yeah, there was two.
Which the Queen will look over to her hoard and like reach like deep into this mountain of gold and pluck out a long red crystalline spear and place it on the ground in front of you all.
Yeah, long time no see.
And the Queen says, "We ourselves are, of course, unable to wield this. So fortunate are we that we have allies who could."
Who gets the spear?
Who likes stabbing?
That's the problem. Who is going to be most beneficial to use a melee weapon? It's a simple. Would it be a simple weapon?
It is spears are a simple weapon, yes.
I will
believe
say-
any of you will be proficient with it. What's up, Matt?
I will say I've got the sonic oscillator, so that rules at least one of us out.
That's
Mhm.
you.
I have no strength.
That you rolled out instantly. I mean, realistically, out
It's
of
you,
the-
isn't it?
It's me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not great at melee combat.
Yeah, let's give the fucking puny nerd a fucking staff sword to go
It's-
stab
oh,
dragons
it's
with.
I
only
mean,
really-
it sounds fun.
What's
But,
your
yeah.
list?
it will come down to either Ott or Yoya to wield it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty certain I probably got the highest strength stat out of the two because it will use strength rather than dex. And while that will, to an extent,
I will just
put a
pull
bit of
up
issues for me because I'm not.
the stats for Crimson Bane in a moment.
It's +3,
It
+3
is a
bonus.
+3 dragon slaying spear, which has a unique effect against the Fang of Immolation.
Was created to restrain the Fang, and when thrust into his heart when he is below 100 HP, it will restrain and immobilize him. 3d6 piercing damage to a creature. with
That's an
unique
extra 3d6 piercing damage.
Oh, okay. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think realistically, yeah, it like out of the two of us, I'm pretty certain this is probably best in my hands in the fight.
Sure.
Yeah.
It is unfortunately not a finesse weapon, so you will not be adding your dexterity to it. It's a strength weapon.
Yeah, which is fine because I have +3 in strength. Yeah, I get a +3 in strength.
Right. What's your strength score?
17.
Ah.
Yeah.
What's your dex?
22.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Alex has a superpower when rolling characters.
It's called having really good rolls for my stats.
Called insane min-maxing.
But
And
You're
that-
just
that I
really
didn't-
lucky when rolling, to be honest, man.
I didn't roll anything below
Like,
a
he
10.
takes all of Rob's luck.
And Matt.
Yeah.
And mine, yeah.
I literally didn't roll anything below a 10 in when I rolled my stats. So I rolled like a 18, a 17, a 16, two 12s, and a 10.
But Yolya's the only one that has stats higher than 20. Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
she spent like 2,000 gold on a book.
Right.
It was 5,000
To raise
total
the-
because it included the rod.
Yeah, to raise her dexterity.
Yeah.
If you remember, for like 3 weeks straight, I just read that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. That's under normal circumstances, it is impossible to raise your skills above 20, except for using these magical books, which are very expensive. The only reason Alex got one is because for literally the entire campaign up until that point, he hadn't spent anything, basically.
Not even like for like health potions, although it's not loads.
So when the dungeon master put these really expensive magic items in front of you and been like, "Ooh, hey, here's an interesting thing you can work towards," Alex just had the money on hand already.
Yeah.
Our
But,
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say our money, but it was always-
The fact that the reason Alex actually had all this money is actually because he had been saving and like not spending on everything. It's a really biting criticism of communism. He does actually want to take his money. Okay, this has gotten strangely economical for a war
anyway,
council.
so out of everything, Crimson Bane is probably best in my hands, essentially, to an extent.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we don't have someone's like, I don't know.
Seraphine goes, "I'm literally getting cuckolded by a spear right now."
Listen, if you could deal this kind of damage, this is out loud as well. If you could deal with a dragon like this spear could, I would be 100% just using you.
She's doing it again.
Crazy! Take
Seraphine
the money
doesn't
out.
respond.
Take the money out of her pocket quickly.
I'm not going to take you off during this fight.
Put her
We
in
can
a
still.
cell.
Yeah,
Seraphine is
like, all of
intentionally not responding because this is making you look crazy.
It's like, at least talk to me, you psychopath. All out
Nothing.
loud. You know, sometimes I literally turn to everyone and says, you know, sometimes I wish that we'd finished sorting out who Seraphine actually is, so I could punch her in the goddamn face.
A cricket just leaps out of Ott's backpack and you just hear it chirping its legs.
Rocky Chan says, "Man, that sounds crazy." Misgendering Yoli on purpose.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, "Man, that guy sounds crazy."
It's I just like.
Is Guy a gender?
Sure.
Sure.
Guy's a male pronoun.
Guy, identify
okay.
as Guy.
I didn't realize he was Canadian.
Eh?
Hey.
I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, guy. I'm not your guy friend.
Okay. So Yolya picks up Crimson Bane. You will need to attune to it, obviously.
That's such
Yeah.
a fucking cool name. I'll give you that.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
So it's an
that sounded wet.
attuned weapon. Oh.
He's preparing it.
Oh no, this incredibly powerful magic item needs me to attune to it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't just have it for free.
Next, you're going to tell us that Alex has 4 attunement slots.
No.
That is something
No, he's
you
not
can
an
get, but
artificer.
no.
You can get that? Oh my goodness.
If you play a different class, yes.
Okay.
What's the dice on the spear? Is it a D?
I bet you,
I'll have
I
to
bet you
double
Alex has already got a
check when the
character
player's
in
handbook.
that
1
class
second.
ready to min-max that.
Alex is currently min-maxing damage. Player's handbook. It's under the equipment section, which is after classes, warlock, wizard.
Wizards off the coast.
After backgrounds. Sorry, I should have already had these up.
No, it's fine.
Equipment, armor, weapon. Here we go. Simple weapons, spear, 1d6 but it is versatile. So if you wield it with 2 hands, it's 1d8.
Just trying to think if my one ability from my class.
Stunning
which
strike
allow-
works with weapon attacks, so spear would still trigger it.
No, not stunning strike. Shit, where is it?
Flurry of blows.
It's not flurry of blows. That one doesn't work with it. I know that much.
You have to keep
It's
one hand free, I would say.
yeah.
But like, you can switch between one-handed and two-handed as long as like there's nothing in your other hand. That's
No,
not
I think
a
if I
problem.
use it two-handed, I can as a bonus action just do an unarmed strike, which isn't flurry of blows.
I think you can do that anyway. I don't think you need to be wielding a two-handed weapon for that.
Yeah, I
Or
know,
martial
but
arts sort of thing.
but I mean to use flurry of blows, though, I think I need to have
Have a free hand.
I think I'll have to read more into that.
It's your level 1 class feature, I believe, is your martial arts.
Yeah, essentially. So, but I can't remember if flurry of blows works in the same way as like I can do because it's 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Yeah, instead of 1.
Which
I know you have to make the attack action in order to get the 1 bonus action strike,
yeah.
or to do flurry of blows, but
So it depends. I can't remember which, one or the other. I'll have to read into it.
okay. The others will look to you all and say, what is your suggestion on the way that we should handle this? Frankly, none of us have ever fought a war in our lifetime. Conflicts on this scale are generally the purview of people who are your height. But villages we're experts at.
Yeah, can you guys like not do that?
Francisca looks genuinely offended at you.
I look back at Francisco, and you should not be offended at all, because you're meant to be a protector of.
I have
certain...
never burnt a village of
I have.
dwarves.
Have you burnt other villages?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just as bad.
Look, I have a domain that I am entrusted to the protection of. If a group of giants sets up a village and starts raiding caravans, I'm gonna burn them. I mean, not burn, actually. My breath is ice, but the point still stands.
Ice burn.
Sure.
Ice can burn.
Ice feels like it's burning.
I'm sure yours does.
Even to her, does like ice hurt her?
No, she's immune to it.
You see a
Oh,
dragon
Moon's
ball.
dragon,
nuts,
baby.
though.
What about
Anyway,
Can I
In terms
charisma?
of-
Can I charisma roll that quickly?
what
Are
did
you trying to
say?
seduce Francisca because you found out that dragons can have biological children?
No.
Fuck's sake.
Well, yeah. Fuck it. Let's go with that. Charisma roll.
Wait, so when an
what would it
ice
be?
dragon and a fire dragon have children, what a dragon do you get?
What would it be? Performance? Because it's a joke.
Rocky
Dragon.
Dragon?
Sure.
32. Jesus fuck.
What the?
Okay. Because you rolled like a deity, she understands that that's a joke and is not upset with you.
I'll give the
Ooh.
finger guns back.
She's like, oh my.
No. Can I seduce the? Can I see if I can seduce her while I'm here?
No.
Fuck's sake, man.
Bad timing.
It's not the time.
Hey, we're about to go
Fine.
to war. I might die for proper this time, so you know,
That's all I
gotta
have
shoot
to
my
do.
shot.
Look, I can't die again.
No guilt, snoo snoo.
Death by
Snoo,
dragon snoo
snoo.
snoo.
That's how
No,
we've
I'll
all
leave it.
wanted
I'll
to
leave
go.
it then. I'll leave it.
Pelvic shattering.
The
Oh my god.
Everhand like looks at you and goes, "If you're finished flirting with my sister, I asked for your advice about
Oh yeah.
the upcoming war."
Try and work. Okay, try work out where they're coming from. Defend that more. You already know that. Once we can make note of the attack beginning at Farward from our appearance there, we need to begin our movements to infiltrate Yggdrasil and attack at the same time as your attack occurs. The attack occurs here within time, obviously, slight chain variances. We really need to try and work out where on earth they're going to attack from. That is the most important part in terms of how to set up defensively.
The dragons, I think it'd probably be the Queen, says, "I don't think there's much more information we're going to be getting from our spies within Ildrichville. It's difficult for them to get any information to us in the first place."
Can you trust these spies to help sow discord within their ranks upon the attack occurring? Will they be able to surprise attack with the enemy army?
From some of them, we've had enthusiastic support. Others, it seems, are hoping to sit out the battle entirely.
That might be fine. At least if there's some not participating, those who showing enthusiasm, it might be wise to get them upon the assault of Dragon's Rest to turncoat at that point and help aid in the attack, in the defense.
That seems likely, but I don't wish to misrepresent this to you. There isn't a huge portion of the dragons in Ildrichville who are secretly supporters of me. It's 3 dragons are secretly still supporters of me. The ones in Ildrichville were all exiled. And mostly that was because I couldn't bear to give them a worse punishment, which is likely a weakness of mine.
Okay. Either way, 3 is better than none. And whichever ones are more likely to sit out, as long as they do sit out, that's fine. We can then move. That gives some advantage to us. In terms of infiltration of Ildrichville, that will come down to timing and making sure we don't get intercepted. We don't accidentally also go the exact same route that the enemy dragons are going to appear from, which we have no way of knowing.
Salafar will speak up and say, "If you are planning on traveling on foot to Ildrichville, then I can provide you as a loan an item from my own hoard that will protect you from scrying, at least so that you remain undetected while you are on the ground. So long as you aren't openly traveling through large, fields while you are en route, and if there are dragons flying overhead, then you shouldn't be noticed at all. You'll just be a group of 5 very small people in a vast forest."
Who are you calling small?
You.
Oh.
Salafar is not like
There we go. that was
like,
a very direct answer.
Everan and Francisca like you. Salafar is like a haughty asshole.
Go on. Respond with, "I'm going to dragon these nuts over your face in a minute." Go on. go on.
Must resist.
Salafar is also hoping you'll try and provoke him.
Are you going to do it?
The Queen intercedes and goes, "Enough from all of you. Salafar, it would be appreciated if you could lend them this item from your hoard. I will entrust that it is something that will be effective to you, I'm still of the mind that if I took on a humanoid form, I could stay alongside you all.
Would they recognize? I'm guessing they would recognize a humanoid form very quickly.
Only if they saw me.
They can't see her if they can't scry.
I want her
will
in the battle.
be-
I think it's more of a waste not to have her in the battle.
Well,
Yes, it puts in
that's-
harm's way, but it's a morale boost anyway.
I'm still of the opinion that she comes with us and helps us with the battle on the battle against the Fang.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, at least you can
I'm
blend
putting
in
my
as a
vote in that
human.
corner.
If we can't get a full defense of Dragon's Rest due with the Queen here, because if she falls, it could cause morale drop and essentially the loss of the battle. Then, as long as we go to Ildrekville and there's only us and her, these dragons have no idea that that's occurred, and at least then they can feverishly defend the Dragon's Rest from the assault without issue.
Salafar will say, if the Queen is to enter into battle, I would not have her do it with just you to defend her. We should send several dragons with you, ones who are powerful and can be trusted. And
Good idea.
Everan will say, if we did that, those dragons wouldn't be defending Dragon's Rest.
We have two means
wouldn't
to
it
be
be
able to.
It
Go
would
on,
be
sorry.
suspicious as well that
So
there's a
many,
lot of
so many
defense
power of the
for people that
powerful.
aren't
Yeah.
aren't members of the dragon family.
You have to also imagine you lose these powerful defenders. It's going to cause questions when they're not there for 2 days straight. When they're aware of a impending attack.
Everan will speak up and say, I would like to volunteer myself to go. I have set out from Dragon's Rest in recent times for several days before, when I went searching for Artemy, who you had all killed twice.
Sorry, not
Whoops.
sorry.
It's fine, he was a dick.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know how useful I will be. Of the dragons my age, my specialty isn't combat, but I am still a large and old dragon. And least of all, I'm certainly not going to be someone you worry about betraying the Queen.
Wait,
I mean-
sorry, who was this and where did they
Salazar,
Uh,
this is.
Salafar is not
Salazar,
volunteered.
yeah.
Everan,
no,
who
Everan, that's
is the copper dragon that
Oh
you
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
been acquainted with previously.
Everyone, that was it, not Salazar.
What's up with all these weird dragon names?
What's the deal with the weird dragon names?
Fucking fantasy settings.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Where are the Christian names?
Where is my Mary and my Joseph?
That's what the two black dragons are called.
Whoa. Okay, you don't need to specify. Jesus,
God damn it.
Jesus, man, calm yourself. That got a bit intense.
Okay. Session's over, guys. I've been cancelled.
Oh god.
I mean, Rob's been
Wouldn't it be
cancelled.
Rob?
It's Rob's stream.
I know.
Yeah, Rob gets
Sorry,
cancelled.
Rob,
The rest of us carry on.
Thank you, though.
It's
It's,
fine.
it's fine. Rob's already cancelled. He's been playing Hogwarts Legacy, really.
Bruh.
Been playing on my DS.
It brings Twitch the views.
How many dragons are we going to be taking from Dragon's Rest then? Because we don't want to.
We don't want many.
Yeah.
We want it to be us with these two weapons, with the Queen, and apparently Everan. And Maybe one other. I think that should be plenty.
And at the same time, we don't want to leave Dragon's Rest with less people, because at the
We-
end of the day, it is the home.
We want to make sure that there's enough here so it doesn't look suspicious that there's a lot of dragons just not defending the city. But also when the attack does happen, that they're actually here to defend the city and it not fall within, ridiculously quickly.
Which 2 dragons are you guys willing to?
Well,
The
one's already agreed
Queen
to.
will speak up and say, Everan, I appreciate you volunteering, but if I'm going to be bringing guards with me, I already have 2 personal guards, who I believe you are acquainted with.
Yeah, they
Is
like
that
to threaten to eat us.
the two black dragons?
Yes.
One's really hungry.
They're not very well socialized with mortals. I don't exactly have many guests.
It's fine. The one
However-
doesn't seem to want to eat Harkin. It says he doesn't like blueberries.
Yep, I'm safe.
I don't think he's ever had. Is he just being picky, or
How do you know what a blueberry is? Don't all your trees just have
they're
eggs?
so small? Like,
Maybe he's just ate the whole bush.
and that would give you a really weird idea of what the taste of a berry is like.
Do you know what the taste of a berry is like?
Yes, I've sampled all kinds of
Like
foods.
eating grapes and the vine.
Yeah.
Like he ate the whole field.
Thinks all meat is crunchy because they just eat cows whole.
Bones.
No.
Oh. Anyway, I leave if you're happy with them too, and they are definitely trustworthy enough to not flip sides halfway through a battle with someone who's somewhere in the region of a few millennia old.
What does
The
scales
Queen will
taste
say,
like?
They have been entrusted with my protection for centuries.
Yeah, so I'm sure you wouldn't think they would defect at any time.
When we had so many dragons defect and join the Fang of Immolation, there were some who spoke of harsher punishments, of death to traitors.
Whew.
The twins would be amongst those who were very vocal in punishing the traitors.
Okay, so they are definitely not going to flip sides anytime soon, by the sounds of that, unless they're trying to hide it from you.
I don't
Not
believe
that they are, but you never know.
Are there any more arrangements we must discuss?
There is the matter of timescales. You said that.
Funny. Scales.
'Cause
I
it's
wonder
like-
what you taste like. Wait, no, you have the cannon. We need you.
Yeah, you don't want that going off in your tummy.
Oh.
Is that a threat?
No, it's just
Alapar will probably be the one who speaks up here and interrupts you and says, The Queen raises a valid point. We know that this attack is likely to trigger within 5 days. If you're planning on leaving on foot, along with the Queen and the twins, then it is most likely that the journey will take you 3 or 4 days.
I'll be back in 1 second.
I know this sounds
Okay, so what do you guys really think of Alex?
an odd question to ask, but how is there a chance we can get a long rest before the battle?
Yes,
is this-
definitely.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, the
DM,
battle's going to
no.
happen in a few days. I think you've got a chance to sleep at least one night between now and then.
So we're gonna go into the battle drunk then, guys. Yeah.
Say again, please, Rob.
Are we gonna go into the battle drunk?
Yes.
Well, that's
our
kind
last-
of a constant.
I mean, that's how you guys seem to fill any gap of time I give you guys. Is you find the
already
nearest
enemies.
tavern and get absolutely annihilated. I don't think your characters have ever drank in moderation before.
well, we must celebrate before the big victory.
Mhm.
Can we introduce the twins like the clip I just shared?
You what are you gonna like
In
give them
mayonnaise?
various different things to taste?
No.
A scary movie.
I should. Yeah, scary movie.
Well,
It's their intro song.
Sorry about that. What did I miss? Anything?
No, not
What's-
really.
what is it
I
that
just
you
asked if we could
sent?
have a long rest before the battle, but that's about it.
Well, we would have a long rest anyway. We've got like multiple days.
God damn it, Sarah.
I just
What-
saw
what?
that clip.
Yeah. And twins. That
God
was
damn it. Okay. What were you saying? Sorry, Alex.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
Matt was saying about like having a long rest, and I was like, yeah, we've got multiple days to wait before the
Yeah.
before we leave, so we're gonna have a long rest.
So, question is, it's likely to be about, we'll say, 4 days of travel. So you've got like a day here in Dragon's Rest to prepare yourselves before you have to set out towards Ildrickville.
Mm-hmm.
Salafar will say, once this meeting is concluded, I will go to my horde and fetch the item to protect you all. I think it would be best if, until you are attuned to this item, you remain here protected from scrying.
That's reasonable enough. I think it's
Once you
probably
are
best.
protected, we can find some other lodging for you. And Francisca says, I've still got several empty rooms in my tower. By empty, I mean literally empty. I have no furniture. And my horde is on, half a continent away.
Yeah, we can stay where we need to and keep ourselves comfortable.
Francisca will, say that she remembers you having Erland's Tavern. So you can just sort of have a comfortable rest wherever you please.
Yeah.
And the Queen will attempt to summarize what's been decided in this meeting then. So the actual defense of Dragon's Rest will be entrusted to Everan, Salafar, and Francisca, who are some of the oldest remaining dragons here within the city. The Queen will be setting out alongside you guys, who are going to be going on foot towards Ildrickville. You'll be using an item provided to you by Salafar to protect you from scrying, and just sort of trying to stay out of very obvious sight while traveling if you hear dragons flying overhead. And basically sort of trusting in the fact that you are kind of beneath their notice. Not in terms of power scale, but in terms of they're not going to see you guys on the ground as anything particularly important when within their line of sight there's probably a dozen more creatures your size dotted about various places, as long as you don't draw attention to yourselves or act in a particularly obvious way.
What?
What?
So don't go shooting fireballs into the sky.
Bing.
Damn it, my plan's ruined.
With that, I believe, obviously the Queen will also say that she plans on bringing the Umbral twins with her as her personal guard, which they have previously served as anyway, so that won't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to be entrusted with the operation of the Sonic Cannon and the Crimson Bane. Violia is going to be wielding Crimson Bane, and once the Fang of Immolation is weakened enough, by thrusting the spear into his heart, you'll be able to restrain him. Erlan is currently going to be holding onto the Sonic Oscillator, which you have already been briefed in the operation of. With that, the meeting is concluded. The other dragons disperse, and about half an hour later, Salafar returns in his dragonborn form. This gold lizard man steps into the chamber where you all are and hands to you this brilliant glittering amulet with the face of a a jewel encrusted demon person with jewels up their horns, and will say, "This is an amulet of protection from divination. It should, so long as one of you is attuned to it, protect you all and those who are within 60 feet of you from any form of scrying."
Very nice.
Obviously, it doesn't protect you from sight. If someone looks at you, you will not be invisible, but they will not be able to see you remotely.
I'll hold it.
And one thing that the Queen will mention, I think, once Salafar leaves, is she will say, "One of the other reasons that I didn't want to say with the others present for my assistance upon travelling with you is that obviously the Fang of Immolation has dragon sight, like I do. It's difficult to view another dragon who has the same ability, so if I'm with you, you will likely be protected from that."
That would actually be really useful then, if
Good.
that's the case.
And with that, you are permitted to leave. And actually, the question is, who's going to attune to the amulet? Sorry,
Me.
Sarah,
Me.
you got an attunement slot free?
I think.
Obviously, you can unattune to it and attune to whatever else you need to before you start the fight. But at least while you're traveling,
How-
it's best for one of you
Where
to
do
be
you find how
attuned
many
to
attunements you can have?
it. You can have free. Everyone can have free.
Unless you're special.
Unless
Alex
you
or
are an
someone.
artificer, which none of you are. Frankly, they're the opposite of special. They're like the second worst class.
That's probably why they get an extra achievement.
Magic items.
I
Also,
guess-
they can make magic items. It's pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not attuned. I don't think I'm attuned to anything.
You should be.
Apart
Your
from
bow
my-
for a start.
You
Yep.
should be definitely attuned to your bow.
Doesn't
Not attuned to the
Oh,
longsword. Not
attuned
attuned
to
to the Mask of the
braces of-
Robin. Attuned
braces
flame
of-
string bow. Attuned braces of archery. So I believe you have a spare attunement slot.
Yay.
Because you don't have the gauntlets of ogre power.
I know.
Both the gauntlets of ogre power and the moonlight longsword both have sacrifice written next to them.
Yeah.
Very sad. Anyway, Alex, what are you doing about attunement slots?
So I'm going to unattune to my cloak of protection.
Okay.
So
So you're still attuned to Seraphine, the Rod of Alertness.
the Rod of Alertness, Seraphine, and now the Crimson Bane.
Okay.
I didn't want to unattune to Seraphine because otherwise I'll be a lot weaker in fights.
And also, she can't speak.
Yeah. And then obviously the other thing being that the cloak of protection, the Rod of Alertness does more, but also when I use it as an action within its radius, gives me the same benefits as the cloak of protection anyway, which is just a passive. That's the whole reason why I decided on that.
And The sonic cannon doesn't require attunement, so that doesn't change anything for you, Matt. Is there anyone else who wants to do anything with like attunement and magic items or any sort of preparation before you leave?
Nah, should be fine.
I'm just trying to think what else is there. Anything like a major that needs to be done? I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to have a long rest so I can get the
Yeah,
spell?
you're going to have a long rest now.
Yeah.
This is just a... Erlan, I'm guessing you're popping out the tavern. Matt? I
He's
think
up.
Matt's
Matt's
dead.
Matt's already asleep
Yeah.
in the tavern.
Yep.
Yeah, it's already up and he's asleep.
Yeah.
Sarah, your attunement is all sorted. Rob, are you attuning to anything?
I've already got 3 achievements. I don't think there's anything. What? Was there anything else I can attune to?
You never attuned to Returning Gale, did you?
Oh no. Where is it? Returning Gust. No.
Returning Gust, sorry.
Well, I guess it would be either that or Boreal Blade. I mean, I could try it out. Let's have a look. What's Returning Gust look like?
The idea behind it was basically frozen action choose on stow return reform. Frozen action on social use when choose on stow dagger will still add your ability modifier, even if thrown as an offhand attack. So the idea behind it was basically it's an offhand weapon. So you could have like a sword in one hand and this dagger in the other hand, and then you can use your bonus action to sneak in some extra damage from this weapon in situations where like maybe you're not able to get sneak attack or you're going to get sneak attack without needing to hide or anything.
Oh.
It's an item to give you a little bit of extra damage on turn, like in situations where it's difficult to optimize perfectly.
Actually, didn't realise I could have that as a secondary. That's cool.
Yeah. Anyone can dual wield. Specifically, this weapon is very good as an offhand weapon because normally when you throw a weapon or use a weapon with your offhand, you don't get to add your ability modifier to the damage. With this, you do.
Right.
So it means
Sorry,
that
what
it
did I
will be-
miss? The internet's been really funny.
We're just discussing attunement,
Okay.
and I'm assuming you're popping out the tavern, Matt.
I am.
People to long rest in.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you let Francisca in?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. She doesn't sleep. She stays up the whole night studying the tavern.
You mean it's all its shitty decor and the staff
No,
that just
she's
wanna kill
much more
themselves?
interested in the magic
Oh,
because
okay.
it's a demi-plane of your own creation,
True.
and she's a wizard.
I don't know which would be better off me taking. Well, taking off.
And then let's
Cloak
take a look at your
Protection or
character sheet.
Boots of Elvenkind.
What?
Because ones make no sound and advantage on stealth checks.
So
there's
let's look at your
bonus
inventory
AC.
page.
Sorry, yeah.
So you currently have attuned the Cloak of Protection,
Boots of Elvenkind and Boreal
Boots
Blades, yeah.
of Elvenkind, and the Boreal Blade. So Cloak of Protection gives you +1 to all saving throws and +1 to armor class. The Boots of Elvenkind give you advantage on stealth checks. And those are the ones that you're looking at doing.
I might take off Boots of Elvenkind just because.
I don't think there's a right answer, particularly for like which one is better or worse out of those 3 items.
I feel like having extra AC would be more beneficial than being able to stealth. Because at the end of the day,
Probably.
when I stealth, it's not like people are searching for me because we're in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, granted you have like deific levels of stealth as it is.
Yeah.
The boots of Elvenkind might actually be better on someone who isn't as good at stealth as you are.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone else has got maxed out.
Yeah,
achievements
everyone's
anyway,
already got
so
full things.
I'll just take.
It's a very good magic item. Alternatively, it's worth a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, I think I bought them, didn't I?
Pretty sure you did. I know you got given some by Lord Duskwatch, but I think you had to give those ones back.
Right.
And whether you got given these ones as a reward from him, or whether you bought them afterwards, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I'd have to go back and check.
Well, yeah, I'll take off the boots for now and attune the returning gust.
Cool. Do you already have it in your weapons page?
Oh, I don't think I do. Let me copy that across. Oh, I don't have room for it. Let's get rid of rapier.
It'll be. You can put it under the ranged weapons bit.
Oh, does that matter? Okay, sure.
Not really.
And
So it has a magic bonus of 2. Its attack stat is finesse. Damage dice is 1d4. Damage type is piercing.
cool. Test.
Yep.
What stabs the air?
11 damage. I will double check just quickly because sorry, this is going to take a hot second. Just what the range on a dagger is: 20 to 60. So if you want to just put in brackets after returning gust in brackets 20/60.
Cool.
The meaning behind that is you can throw it up to 20 feet just normally, and up to 60 feet with disadvantage.
And I guess clues in the name, it'll return to you when I throw it.
Yes.
Can I get?
As a free action, you can return it to you.
I suppose this doesn't count, but I'll ask anyway. When someone's with the someone being on the other side of an enemy, you get a bonus. Then would that count then if I'm still 20 feet away? Or do you have to be in melee?
What do you
'Cause,
mean?
To me, that's melee because I'm using a knife and stabbing them with it. But to them, I'm 20 feet away. So I'm not directly... Yeah, they're not directly surrounded.
For flanking?
Yeah.
I believe you don't get flanking unless you specifically are on either side of the thing.
Yeah.
I know that it makes sense because they're defending from 2 directions, but I believe rules as written, you don't get flanking unless you're both in melee.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to clarify that before I go to a fight.
You would still get sneak attack if you had an ally who was within melee of the creature, though.
Oh, okay.
You just wouldn't get advantage.
Sure. So I still get a little bit of a bonus, but not advantage bonus.
Mhm.
Cool.
I mean, 8d6 is not a little bit of a bonus. 8d6 is huge,
Yeah.
because you're a 15th level rogue. Okay. So with that, unless there's anything you guys want to do in the tavern before you go to sleep, the night passes uneventfully. You're all safe within the tavern, and when you awaken, the queen and the 2 black dragons, the umbral twins, have all transformed down to humanoid forms.
Sorry, quick question. Returning Gust, why is it double damage?
What do you mean double damage?
I don't know. There's two attack numbers against the roll.
Oh, that's just automatically rolling with advantage. I can fix that.
Ah, okay.
It's the little cog symbol.
Oh, I remember. Sure.
Yeah.
Cheers.
On there. Yeah, so the 2 black dragons have taken on humanoid form. I think both of them would probably be like drow, like dark elves, I think. Complete with like cowboy hats and long trench coats.
Oh God.
One of them is like chewing on a toothpick, and like there's this little like sizzling as his like acidic saliva is melting the toothpick in his mouth.
Why
So
do they have?
stupid.
I'm literally like to myself. Why do they have to look exactly like him from the village?
He says in like his best attempt at a cowboy accent, he goes like, "I suspect we are going to be hunting some varmints, some ne'er-do-wells.
Never attempt that again.
Let's get going, partner."
Oh.
His brother high fives him.
I turn to the queen and say, can they never do that again, please?
Queen shrugs. I thought it was really good. She's like supportive mother.
Just like having like a crisis, a conflict of like crisis. I'm like, why? Why must they be this way?
Just wait until you see all of the actual cowboys again.
Exactly. It was nice.
By the way, for the
Ruining
rest
this,
of you all,
butchering this.
these are the closest thing you've ever seen to an actual dark elf here on Horizon. Kind of weird that they're dressed as cowboys.
Didn't Up get turned into one?
That's true, actually. I don't think Ott dressed as a cowboy at that time.
In fact,
It's
called fashion, Logan.
When Ott slept today, he changed.
Oh, did you? Do you want to re-roll?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let me pull up the table. I believe it's D100.
There you go.
Shapeshift table.
10.
10. All right. On 9 to 24, you turn into a dwarf.
Oh,
He's a dwarf.
nice.
I mean, on the journey, you will have another 4 rerolls if you would like.
Yes.
Okay.
No one's gonna know
Yeah.
who I am.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do the journey tonight, and then I think we'll finish up ready to do the assault on Ildrukville. So, the first leg of your journey is largely uneventful. You're too close to Dragon's Rest for there to even really be, like, any animals stupid enough to stick around. Like, it's just sort of a dead zone in terms of wildlife, because they all have this, like, instinctive fear. And the Queen and the Umbral twins are both extremely impressed by Erland's tavern when you all go to sleep for the night. And all 3 of the dragons stay up all night drinking.
Oh God.
They seem completely unaffected. They have absurdly high constitution scores. And the following morning, you will set off once again. Rob, you can roll again if you would like.
Ott looks different. But how?
Roll and find out.
83! You're a human!
Hey.
What sort of human would you look like, Rob?
Old man, beard but no mustache, white beard, wearing dungarees. Do the clothes change?
You bought different clothing sets.
Sure, he's wearing dungarees.
Cool. Your human outfit is dungarees.
Yeah,
Your future is now, old man.
he's wearing a.
I'm absolutely imagining Stinky Pete from Toy Story right now.
Oh no, I was just thinking he looks like a farmer. He's got a bit of barley in his mouth.
Okay.
He's got a hat.
Okay. I can see that too. The Umbral twins are both like, "Who the hell are you? Name yourself, stranger!"
You'll
They
never
reach
meet
for
me
guns.
again.
They reach for guns. God damn it.
What, you think dragons aren't gonna have guns?
I'm your good friend, Stinky
I
Pete.
thought they are guns.
The queen, like, eyes flash silver, and as she uses true sight, is like, "Stop being foolish, it's Ott still."
It's
He can
just me,
shapeshift.
your good friend Art.
Are you going to be doing that stupid voice the whole time?
Yes.
Wonderful. The following
No,
day,
at that point, I literally turned to the queen and says, "Now you understand."
to be honest, she just seems to be in like pretty high spirits to just be like out of Dragon's Rest and like going on an adventure.
We're going on an adventure.
But once again, the following day, you see absolutely no signs of like wildlife or nature or even monsters.
Wait, so you say
And-
the plants are scared?
Um,
Is that why they're not growing?
there's still like trees, but like there's no like animals that are daring to come anywhere near you. And it sort of like dawns on you all that like you're traveling with 3 ancient dragons right now, and like animals can probably just like instinctively sense that like this is a dangerous place for them and just seem to be like staying well clear of you.
That's fair.
Danger be here.
The 3 dragons, who are of course very used to being avoided by wild animals, see absolutely nothing strange with this. And at the end of day 2 of your journey, Rob, would you like to remain as a human?
Oh, it looks different.
I mean, like, if you want to transform, you got to roll again, Rob.
Yeah.
35. 29 to 44, you're an elf.
Nice. The elf has absurdly long ears. He can hear everything. Well, looks like he can hear everything. Yeah.
Okay.
When he was a child, he looks like he got called sonar ears. No one knows what sonar means, but they call him that anyway.
It's a long distance divination spell that was invented by a master wizard called Johann Sonar.
All of his clothes are tattered, and he's green like his clothes. He blends in. He looks like an army man.
Okay. I like the idea that like this isn't even a new outfit you've bought. You've specifically like ripped up one of your other outfits to look tattered.
Oh, it's gonna sew this up later for a different show.
Uh-huh. Okay. Day 3 of your journey proceeds. You still do not see any sign of dragons, and you have one more full day of travel before you reach the ruined city of Ildregville.
I think at this point, what it might be smart to do is to try and contact our forces to find out where they are at with their journey,
Mm-hmm.
and to essentially just get an update from people above ground at Farward about what's going on.
Okay. I mean, you
And
have
what has been discovered.
sending spells.
So I think we should do that at this point, as we're closing in on such a thing.
Sending spell.
Sending.
So I presume I know the name of one of the, we'll say like the captain of the ship. Or something.
I really hope you know the name of the captain. He
Oh, no.
introduced himself to you all.
Oh,
Rob, what
How's-
are your notes? What do your notes say,
oh,
huh?
hang on.
Rob, notes? Are you kidding me?
I have
He
notes.
takes notes.
I do take notes. I'm just trying to see if I actually wrote down his name. That's us.
It's in the advanced stronghold rules.
I was just
actually.
about to say, like, it's also in the stronghold rules things. Like the name of them are there.
But you're not allowed to
Jedri.
read that now. I need to know what your notes say.
No, Jedri's my friend. Wait, was it at the start of the game or the end of the game?
It was at the end of a session. You met him. Oh, I don't take notes for the last 20 minutes.
No, really not. Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
fine. The captain is Rurik Deep Timber.
Oh,
But that's only one of the captains.
That's the captain of the Heart and Hammer Mercenary Company, which you are the ones who you've sent to Farward.
Yes, that's right. We kept the others to stay back to.
Yeah, the hunting barge.
What
led by
about
Johann Philivan.
Johann Philivan? Oh, you beat me to it.
Johann Philivan is.
Don't worry,
staying
I'm
back.
very impressed with you, Nick. I know that you read it from the Advanced Stronghold rules.
Oh, what's annoying is I've written both of their names in one part of the document, but not in the session notes. So it's in like the characters. we
I
met,
had
but
it
not
in my
the-
own notes, I'll have you know.
Okay, I trust you.
So
Proof.
Leader of
I
the
would
Mountain
love to
Hammer
read
and
Nick's
former
notes.
member of the
Proof.
Hunting
Have a look
Commission.
in Maymay's.
I was just going to say we've already seen his notes before. He fills out like a full thing, like fully.
I want, like, when the campaign ends, Nick to just, like, upload a Google Doc of all of his notes for the
I'll
campaign.
turn it into a novel.
The leader of the Heart and Hammer Mercenary, Johan, former member of the Hunting Commission. There we go.
Oh, Rob's notes are better than mine.
That's all I know.
Now I'm gonna have to actually, like, remember NPCs' names myself as well.
Instead of forgetting them and coming up with a new one.
I do that constantly. It's terrible.
Do you
My
remember-
notes are so
Do you
disorganized.
remember who Afreet was then?
Yeah, I remember the Afreet Darja is the fire genie that you
Yeah.
fought in the really cursed session where I had to repeat the same lines 6 times for each of you. And then the Fang of Immolation melted his palace.
That's right.
That was in order to restore Hierarchin to life.
Well, better than my
Yeah,
notes.
test me on my campaign.
Yeah, I didn't know. his
Anyway,
name.
Day 3 of your journey passes. You are
Oh,
not.
Were we supposed to message Johan?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
or Rudrick?
What would you like to say on your sending spells?
Hey, just checking in. How you guys getting along? All good? We're good, doing great. We've seen some snow.
We've seen some snow.
Yeah, it's a lie. I just wanted to make him be like, "Ooh, he's going on an adventure."
Captain Rurik responds and says, "Oh, Sir Ott, what a coincidence! It's snowing here too." That's 10 words. We resupplied at Duskwatch and are en route to Far Ward. We will be there in 2 days.
It's still 2 days away from forward.
He's got 3 more words. Deepest respect, Rurik.
Cool.
So how many days did you say? 2, was it then?
Days.
Mhm.
2 days. So we've got 2 days. I think we need to find out if they've got our doppelgangers ready as well to make sure that that's all in place.
Like how many people actually know
Yeah,
that there's going to be
that would be
like,
something.
doppelgangers?
That would be something that he would mention in his sending spell. Okay, forget what I said. He will have mentioned something along the lines, something like, "We picked up the decoys in Duskwatch," rather than saying they resupplied at Duskwatch.
Ah, good. So they have got them. So that's good. So we've got 2 days until we appear at Duskwatch. Oh, not Duskwatch, Farwood.
Mhm.
So
For reference, they're here right now. In the D of Duskwatch.
In the D.
I bet they're in the D.
Place.
Is there any other sending spells or any contact you want to make with people today?
would it be smart to get an update from the Queen about anything that, or maybe from the Match Sellers Guild to find out where they're at with that, with the spy infiltration at Farward?
So I say again.
This one-
Just updating, sorry.
So to find out where the Queen is with Farward and all the things that we discussed with her in terms of its defense, involvement, quote unquote, as well as the spies that have infiltrated Farward. Have they managed to root some of them out?
Okay, asking about update on uprooting of spies.
Yeah.
What do you say? One of my
Uh,
favorite things is the sending spell. I love this.
Do we know who we're going to send it to?
I think if we ask the Queen on this one,
Send it straight to the Queen.
because she would have received contact from the Match Sellers anyway, so had anything come up.
So that's Duskwatch Queen, is it?
Bulwark.
Phalanx.
Bolt.
Sorry, Phalanx, yes.
Okay.
Queen Killia Phalanx.
Ooh. Kill him. So, yeah, not ready to spell. He's rubbing his hands together and blows into them and
You
spells
put
out.
your hand in the little phone
Put-
hand next to your
puts
face.
his, yeah, finger and thumb sticking up out away from his.
Yeah.
And says,
A gesture that means nothing to anyone.
I know. It's banana phone. What? Hey Queenie, what up? We're just checking in to see how you're doing with them spies and uprooting them and such. Lots of love, Art.
I think that was about 25. I lost count.
Sorry.
No room for the
trust you.
kisses at the end.
Sorry. Repeat that for me. I was too busy counting to actually listen.
Hey Queenie, what up? It's your boy Art. Just checking in to see how uprooting spies are going. Lots of love. Kiss, kiss.
The Queen responds with, "Why did they let you talk?" Let you talk. That's 6 words. We have gathered a list that's 11 words. We will make the arrests all at once tomorrow. 20 words. Why do they let you talk? But the word talk is cut off, so it's just why do they let you?
Nice.
And then she casts sending and says talk.
So
Now
that
you have
means
25 words
I
to
can
respond.
Hey Queenie, miss you. You know, when this is all over, we're gonna party out big time. You know, get all the mead. It's gonna be great.
I'm pretty sure it cuts off there.
Yeah, good.
Get out all the... and it cuts off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's 2 sendings down. I don't know how many 3rd level spell slots you actually have.
That's 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to bounce. I'm really sorry.
I was about to say that like the session's more or less over at this point, so if you want to leave, Matt, that's
No
fine. You're not
worries.
gonna
I'm
miss
really sorry,
anything.
guys. I'll catch up with you all soon.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Ta-ra.
Good night.
Thanks,
Bye.
thanks for coming
You'll
on.
only miss these spending
Thank you, guys.
spells.
Oh, what
Now
a
we,
shame.
now we can set up the flesh factory.
Yes.
Yes. All right, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys. It's been a
Yeah.
fun session.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay. The day ends. You all rest once again within the tavern, and continue your journey to Ildrickville. Your day is punctuated as you finally approach closer to the border of Ildrickville, with the sound of wing beats, as you suddenly have to take much more notice of not so much like staying in cover and being hidden as not drawing attention to yourself and just like trying to avoid giving them any reason to look at you.
Ooh.
Ott, would you like to transform again?
Yeah.
All right, D100.
D100. 83.
83. It's a human again.
Yeah. He looks exactly the same as the last guy.
All right. It's the old man again. Stinky feet.
Stinky feet with his stinky feet. He's wearing sandals.
You like hobble at the back of the group.
Yeah. He's wearing sandals and he's struggling to keep up with the rest, of the rest of the group. So he only catches up when everyone stops for a little break throughout the journey.
The cowboy twins find your act extremely entertaining.
Jesus Christ.
They have true sight. They can see through the illusion and see like your weird slender man face whenever they want. But
They choose not to.
Yeah. uh, and then you have one final day of travel, and then a long rest, and then we can end the session. Is there anything you would like to do on your final day of travel?
Not die.
T-pose.
We, I guess, probably create a banquet to help morale, as this could be a very decisive battle.
Mm-hmm. It's lucky that within the magnificent tavern, food is almost infinite. as
Maybe we
it's all
shouldn't drink too much
conjured.
tonight, though.
Mhm. Well, you actually have one more long rest
If
before this,
anything-
before the battle
Oh,
happens.
okay.
If
Party
anything,
then.
we may as well party now, so
Yeah.
we're ready for the morning.
We've got a
Exactly.
day to recover.
The queen and the ancient dragons like drink all of you under the table if you are willing to try, because they have just such absurdly high constitution that you kind of wonder whether it's actually possible for them to get drunk, or whether it's kind of like a Captain America situation. Um,
Yeah. I
are
guess.
there any more sending spells? Is there any more transformation?
Do we want to check on progress? See where everyone else is at, just in, as a last check.
Yeah, I think we do one last check before.
Make sure we're all timing it right.
Yeah, making sure we're all about to hit things at the same time.
Yeah.
So
So that would be not only to us, so not just to obviously Farward and all that, but I think also to Dragon's Rest to see where how everything's faring over there. Make sure everything's fine.
So that's what, the Queen and Everan, or your crew and Everan?
How many can we send?
You've got 2 spells, I believe.
Is there only 2?
Because Ott's not a main spellcaster.
Yeah, but what level spell is it?
3rd, I'm pretty sure.
Shit, really? Oh, I
Hold on.
thought it was like 2nd.
Ooh, 3rd level. I mean, Rob, you can correct. Nah, level 3 sending.
Damn.
Yep.
It would be best then to send it to. If they've already got a list, if the Queen's already got a list of like names and everything, and they're already doing that side, I think it's more making sure that our timing with the with our appearance at Farward is probably better, because obviously it's going to be like they're going to appear there, then the attack on Dragon's Rest is going to occur, and then as they've left to do that, that's when we need to be assaulting Gildragville. If we time our timings slightly off on that, like we go too soon, we're going to be like overwhelmed here, because obviously the Queen's going to be here and they're just going to stop and attack, so it's kind of a slight delay on everything, if that makes sense. And then
in that case, it's possibly best to speak with your crew, because they're the ones who will actually be arriving,
yeah,
and tell them that upon their arrival, they need to contact you immediately.
yeah, and to begin essentially setting up defenses and getting us into a position, our decoys into a position where we're obviously visible to anyone who might be able to let them know.
Okay. The response comes back from Captain Rurik. He does not have access to the sending spell to tell you anything. He is going to try and find a wizard who can either get in contact with you or get in contact with someone who can get in contact with you.
Okay. That's fine, as long as we can have something from themselves to say, like, when they're arriving.
One thing I think that he will mention is that your decoys have been getting like sending spells several times a day sent to them. So they seem to be coordinating.
Okay.
Obviously, they're not coordinating with you. It doesn't seem like any of them are able to send sending spells, but they are definitely receiving them from at least one source.
Yeah.
But they can respond though, still, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's just they can't call you, but they will be able to say to someone, "We're going to be arriving within the next 2 hours."
Have we seen them before?
No.
No.
You haven't.
So I guess I can't send a
I mean,
sending
they look
spell to you.
exactly like you guys.
Wait, if you, in terms of the sending spell, is it you have to have met and known the person for you to be able to send it to them, send a message to them?
I
What
think
does
it's
the
just the
spell
name.
actually
I
say?
think it's just the name of the person.
It says a creature with which you are familiar.
If he looks exactly like me, am I not familiar with him?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that probably they have been trained to like be able to impersonate you, which implies some level of familiarity, right? So maybe they could, if they had access to sending, which they don't, speak to you. Like if one of them had access to a sending scroll, they could use it on you.
But in terms of me sending something to them, if they're identical to me, like
No, I don't think it would
I'd
work.
say not.
damn.
You've never met them. You know that, like, you can guess what there is an illusion that currently makes them look like, but that's not actually what they look like.
Okay.
Exactly.
Also, it doesn't really make sense for them to be under the illusion now. They're probably going to apply the illusion, like, before they arrive.
Yeah, I can't remember how long seeming lasts for, but it's probably.
It's measured in hours, I'm pretty sure.
So the people on the ship, then, apart from our doppelgangers, do they all think that they're not going with the actual virtuosos then?
No. As far as they're aware, they have been sent to. I think that they would have been told that they're going to be escorting a bunch of people who are going to be disguising themselves as you as part of a secret operation.
Right, so they know too much already.
Sure. It's like they know like the minimum amount that they need to know to make them not ask any more questions.
Right.
That's where you are, smiley face. Anyway, final day. You all find yourselves camping out just beyond the border of Ildrugville, maybe an hour or two's walk away. We'll say an hour's walk from the walls. You can see a dim light emerging from this ancient stone city that you've only seen through warped visions. These strange, I'm going to say non-Euclidean buildings. I know scientifically non-Euclidean is a really dumb thing to actually say because it just means curved. But I mean it more in like a Lovecraftian sort of sense. These are Mind Flayer buildings. Very strange sort of angular curved pyramids and oddly shaped domes and buildings make up this city, which from your vantage it's difficult to get an exact layout on. You can see like various parts of the city appear to be damaged from the dragon attack, which simply haven't been repaired. You can see movement within the city, both dragons flying about who seem to be extremely agitated and not settled down at all. There seems to be constant moving. And as well, you see the bustle of several smaller forms. Kobolds, which are these very small lizard people, like sort of like a similar size to halflings, maybe a bit smaller than that. And also you see some orcs and even one or two mind flayers. You all take one final rest within the tavern in order to refresh all of your spell slots. And Ott, as the closing for this session, would you like to remain a human or would you like to roll again?
Let's roll again.
Okay.
57.
57.
Oh.
He's a turtle, isn't he?
He's a turtle.
No way.
He's gonna be a
You
turtle.
lumbering turtle man.
Oh no,
Would you
Not
like
the
me
most-
Joy.
definitely not the most
Great
agile
form to go into battle with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hang on, I'll get you a.
Oh, it's just physical form. Like nothing else has changed.
Yeah, it's just your stats stay exactly the same and abilities stay exactly the same. I'm just copying a
So
picture
I'm
of
like
a
a
turtle. a second.
ninja of a turtle then.
Yeah.
Wait, you're a-
Wait.
D&D
I was just about to say he's more like he's like
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
teenage mutant turtle.
That's what they look like.
Oh, memes, is it?
D&D chap.
He's Uruguay.
There are no Uguays, Master Accident. With that, I think that's a good place to leave off the session. Next session, we will begin with the Battle of Ildrug Phil.
Woo! Bring it on.
We've had a few sessions of no combat, despite Sarah's best efforts.
Despite Sarah's best.
Let me try.
Who you
I
been
could
trying
have killed
to?
those guards.
I
Who
mean,
you-
the title for this session was accurate. Preparing for battle. It
Yeah.
didn't mention actually battling.
Logan's made that mistake before, where it's like, we're gonna fight
Yeah.
these guys in this session, and then 3 sessions later we're just about to fight them.
Yeah,
That-
like when
that's-
I named the session title "Elegy for the First World," and then
Yeah.
like in the last like few sentences of the session, I had to squeeze in someone actually saying the words, and then the next session, you guys finally read it. Anyway, good game, everyone. Thanks for coming online.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank
It's
you.
Good game.
I know it was a very wordy session.
It's always a
uh,
wordy
All
session.
preparation, isn't it?
It's
It's
all
good.
about painting a picture.
Next session is going to be fighting some
Yes.
dragons.
Hopefully Matt can be there for this.
I would
Yeah.
very much like that. Especially given that he's wielding the Sonic cannon.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I can always take it off him. Or play his character.
But I mean, like, if need be, I'll control Erlan. But I'd like Matt to be present.
Yeah.
See Sarah's furiously typing away.
I know, angry email, right, Sarah?
Yeah, no, I also
Is it the-
finished a commission.
Oh,